and this deal was agreed upon last month, and they are being handed over as we speak, according to the terrorist group Hamas. Now, four of the hostages. These are details that we have right now, names and ages. Four of the hostages: Elia Cohen, 27 years old; Tal Shomam, 40 years old; Omer Shem Tov, 22 years old; and Omer Wenkert, 23, were all taken hostage by Hamas terrorists during their attack on Israel on the 7th of October 2023. Two others, Hisham Al-Sayed, 36 years old, and Avera Mengistu, 39 years old, have been held by Hamas hostage since they entered Gaza separately, under unexplained circumstances. That was a decade ago. So four of them, out of the six, four of them are from the 7th October attack, and the two of them, now in their mid and late 30s, are being held hostage for almost 10 years by Israel. So, in exchange for these six, Israel is expected to let go of 602 Palestinian prisoners and detainees, and they have also been held in jails. And this is the latest stage of the exchange that has been held up in the last few weeks and months, despite a series of issues that have come close to sinking it on different occasions. This time around, Trump seems to have been the factor that has, hastened this process, that has speeded up this process. And on Thursday night, the day when we saw the pictures of the four bodies being handed over, Israel had also accused Hamas of violating ceasefire by handing over what it called an unidentified body instead of the remains of hostage Shiri Bibas. Shiri Bibas is the mother who was taken hostage along with the two children. Some of those pictures that you've already seen, very iconic images of her crying and pleading and holding her two children. One was a toddler, another 9-month-old infant, and she was holding them and crying when they were abducted. One of the most defining images of Hamas takeover, Hamas attack on Israel, and Israel claimed that Shiri Bibas, the mother's body, was unidentified, and it was not her body, is what Israel claimed, returned along with the bodies of her two small sons. So Hamas had then responded to that claim made by Israel, saying that the remains appear to have been mixed up with other human remains recovered from the rubble after the Israeli airstrike, which it claimed killed the family in the first place in November 2023. Now, on Friday, Hamas had handed over another body, which Israel forensic officials were preparing to investigate to confirm the identity. So that was the updated information on the unidentified body controversy, which Israel has referred to as a violation of the ceasefire. Now, these are live pictures, so very, very iconic images. And this perhaps we are hoping could mark an end.
There have also been very heart-wrenching visuals over the last 1 week, 10 days that we've been watching. There are people returning to their families after almost a period of close to 2 years. And now some of them returning in coffins. It's very heart-wrenching. And as you pointed out, the body that was returned with the body of Shiri Bibas, and I think that triggered the dispute again with Netanyahu, vowing for a revenge, saying that this was a malicious violation of the ceasefire agreements. So this exchange also with a lot of dispute lurking in around it.
Of course, I mean, Netanyahu had decried the release of the wrong body as a ceasefire violation. And Hamas had responded to that particular claim because Hamas knows that Netanyahu is on the verge of something big, and that he could, because, there is a huge sense of anger, a wave of anger in Israel over the release of the four bodies. And Netanyahu himself, a day before those bodies were released, came out and said that it's a very, very trying, testing moment for Israel. And he said that they are filled with grief and anger as the four bodies were coming home. And Thursday, after those bodies were released, I mean, imagine the anger when the mother's body, and she was the face of the entire mourning. Okay, we'll take a break now. I think we'll take a break now. We'll come back with the live images, the live pictures of the hostage swap, the release of 4 more hostages. In all, 6 today are being handed over to Israel from Hamas, the terror group, the dreaded terror group, which should be eliminated from the face of the earth. Taking a break, back with the live coverage from Gaza. Stay tuned.
And Kajal Raghbir, co-founder at Spandrick, and I'm excited to be the part of the Limitless India Youth Hackathon by Republic Media Network. As a part of science, technology and space category, I can't wait to see the innovative ideas coming from this event. I'm especially excited about the space because in the next decade, India will lead the way in space exploration and thriving a new space economy. What are you waiting for? Send your pitches now.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
Now time for the nation's sharpest opinion. Viewers, Mark Zuckerberg has confessed, Mark Zuckerberg of Meta, earlier Facebook, has now confessed that he, along with other big tech companies, are partners with the American deep state. By deep state, I mean CIA, FBI, State Department and other secret assets of the American government known only to the White House. So Mark Zuckerberg has admitted effectively that over the years, these big tech companies have worked with them to advance the interests of the American deep state. This has now been published everywhere. The recent events in Bangladesh rode on the back of the involvement of the same American deep tech companies who the CIA, FBI and the American secret agencies work with. Mohammed Yunus, who has been flown in by the Americans, I think, to lead Bangladesh, has, as per several emails of which I have copies with me today, put out by WikiLeaks, he has been over the years in very, very close correspondence with the Americans, particularly when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, with her specific personal teams when she was Secretary of State. The Americans have been helping Mohammed Yunus set up his Grameen Bank. They have worked towards advancing the interests of Grameen Bank business-wise, and they've also been working to get him to agree to enter Bangladeshi politics. According to these emails and correspondence, this effort has been going on since 2007, which means that for the last 16 years or more, the Americans and Mohammed Yunus are working together. The way in which Mohammed Yunus, who is a political nobody, has been made the head of Bangladesh makes him a role model to people like Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi will get very excited because Rahul Gandhi has been similarly, like Mohammed Yunus, has been in close touch with the Americans, and Rahul Gandhi has been effectively, overtly pleading with the Americans to enter and become influence peddlers in Indian politics. Now, ladies and gentlemen, since Narendra Modi went to Moscow recently and defied the Western media expectations that he would distance himself from Vladimir Putin, the American State Department, the American Embassy in New Delhi and its deep state assets and machinery have become overactive. So they must have got instructions from Washington to target the Modi government. So they've become so active, they are doing PR activity. One day they flew down to meet Asaduddin Owaisi on the 12th of August. Then they quickly went to go and meet Omar Abdullah and Farooq Abdullah on the 26th of August in Srinagar. Then they flew down to meet Chandrababu Naidu on the 31st of July. Then they met Congress Chief Minister Revanth Reddy on the 2nd of August. You know, if you look at the way these American diplomats are.
This week on Get Me Right, as Trump scripts his Russia detent, a Cold War has broken out between Europe and America. Some are already calling it the beginning of a transatlantic divorce. Is it a moment of existential crisis for Europe? Next, we explore the possibility of Balochistan breaking away from Pakistan. If not immediately, definitely in future. How soon? We explore. And finally, as Trump directs the Bangladesh question to PM Modi, is it time up for Mohammed Yunus in Dhaka? This weekend, Saturday and Sunday at these times, only on Republic TV.
afternoon. I'm Sucharita Kukreti. You're watching Republic TV, and Civil Aviation Ministry pulls up Air India after a very disappointing post by Union Minister Shivraj Singh. That and more in this bulletin. But first, have a look at the headlines. After Shivraj Singh posts about a disappointing Air India experience, Civil Aviation Ministry and DGCA pulls up Air India. In a major development in the USAID funding case, sources have informed Republic that the MHA is set to launch a probe into the matter.
$21 million going to my friend, Prime Minister Modi in India, for voter turnout. We're giving $21 million for voter turnout in India. What about us? I want voter turnout too, Governor.
Trump segregates details of USAID funding for India, and Bangladesh says $21 million went to India for voter turnout. Big embarrassment for Man government. Our minister headed a non-existent department for 20 months in Punjab. And Hamas releases 6 more Israeli hostages. Earlier, Hamas had released remains of 4 dead hostages. The news that's coming in, Minister of Civil Aviation has personally spoken to Shivraj Singh Chauhan and assured that from their side, DGCA will also be looking into details of matter promptly. Earlier, Shivraj Singh Chauhan had put out a post about a disappointing Air India experience. He'd raised the issue of broken seats in the plane, and in a post on social media platform X, the Union Minister said that I had booked a ticket on Air India flight number AI436. I was allotted seat number 8C. I went and sat on the seat, and the seat was broken and sunken in. So that was the post that was put out by the Union Minister, and after that, the Civil Aviation Minister has directly, personally spoken to Shivraj Singh Chauhan.
वो तो मैंने कर दिया, कुछ कहना नहीं है।